You see this on my face? That's nothing but pure excitement, joy, love that I have for you guys. I am super happy and grateful to be here in your presence today. Please, as always, it is very important for you to drop in the comment section obstacles that you have overcame this week, this year, because that will encourage others to understand that life is about challenge. It's not always about being happy, you understand? It feels always about being happy and we'd be happy all the time, right? No, but we fell in love with the ups and downs. See, last week we were speaking on perspective. This week we're going to maybe take it back a little bit, because if you ask most people who they are, but they're going to say their name, their birthday, where they live, where they're from. You see, you are not Kyrie Hankton. Kyrie Hankton is just two words that my parents have given me. It's my name. But most people will be like, well, this is me, the flesh. Well, that's not you either. That's not me either. It's not am body, am arm, am head, am mind. You don't call into work and be like, body's not going to make it today, it's sick. That's not who you are. You see, you have to understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. The real question is, who am I? Now we can reverse that, and then after a while you're going to say, I am who I was designed to be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's get right into it, guys. Life is like traffic. You go too fast, you get in an accident. You go too slow, you cause others to accident behind you. We need to stay in the flow of life. Fspm. Fspm. We got financial. We got spiritual. We got physical. And we got mental. Fitness. We got financial, spiritual, physical, mental, fitness. That is FSPM. Now, the reason why I repeat this constantly, because you see, you don't have to do them in order, but you should have them in order. Because these are the 4 keys to life. Doesn't everybody want to be financially stable? And see, what I learned about financial fitness is that there's 3 things in life that I learned about people. Is that not everybody wants to be extremely wealthy. Not everybody wants to be extremely wealthy. In fact, I know exactly what people want. They do not want to have financial concerns. What do I mean by that? Not everybody wants to be Warren Buffett, but everybody does not want financial concerns when they wake up in the morning. An unexpected bill comes, you want to be able to pay that, no problem. Some new shoes come out, you want to be able to add to your collection, no problem. The new game come out, you want to be able to add to your collection, no problem. Vacation, you want to be able to pay for that vacation, no problem. Upgrade your car, you want to be able to upgrade your car, no problem. No remorse, no regret. You don't have to be super wealthy to do that. You do not have to be Warren Buffett to keep up with the latest Tesla. You do not. But what you do have to be is discipline. Excuse my spelling, y'all know that by now. So you don't have to be smart to make a difference. But you do have to be disciplined to make a difference in your life. Like I said, I don't want you to focus on changing the bank account. You see, because right now I make $5,000 a month. I make $5,000 a month, but I owe 10. At the end of the year, I'm still negative so much amount of money. So every month I'm still negative $5,000. But I can't let that number decide what's going on the inside, because remember, you thinking about the bank account is not going to get you to that financial stability. You do not want the outside world dictate what goes on up here. You see, I want you to think about your results, your physical results, right? I want you to think about your physical results. And then we have your mind right here, right? We have your mind, your imagination, your 5 mental faculties, your imagination, etc., etc. This is your body. Now, you know that sometimes you have a thought of the paradise and the life that you want to live in a situation that you want to be in. You know the best results for yourself. But as soon as you have that negative thought that tells you that you can't be, which is the present results, but then that completely knocks out the good thought that you just had. See, that's when you're living off what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. You do not want to go off of the 5 physical faculties that you have been blessed with. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Don't think about debt. Think about more ways to make money. There's no way that you should be focused on this. You can't change that right now. The only way you're going to be able to change that is by changing what goes on up here, which is in your mind. I know that this may seem like it's right out of the box, or it's just your brain is telling you right now, I know. Well, as you know, there's a difference between knowing and doing. Now, you know the right thing to do. You know the habits that you need to cut off on. You know where your money's going, hopefully at least. But are you taking the action? You have faith. Faith is just knowing. Faith is belief. You believe that you know what you have to do to be where you want to be. You lack the prayer. Prayer is the energy transfer from the mind, the energy transfer into the body, which is the instrument to proceed on doing what you need to do in order to fix this negative number. It's literally black and white. You have to get emotionally involved in where you want to be. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You probably can't even last 45 seconds to 10 minutes on this video because you already know. Are you truly who you pretend to be? I know I say life is not about being happy, but life is all about challenge. What are some of the obstacles that you overcame this week? What are some challenges that you are embracing? I'm so happy and grateful to be blessed with challenge. I love it. If I wake up and there's nothing going on in my life, I panic. I'm always ready for growth and development. Now, research has proven that if you're not disciplined, then more than likely, you're not going to have any money. You are not financially fit. I know a lot of people out there that make a lot of money who don't got money. I know a lot of people who don't make a lot of money but has a lot of money. It all depends how your activity over time. Financial fitness, you need to be disciplined. You need to be able to manage activity. You can't manage time. No, you can't manage time. You have to manage the activity. You get the same amount of hours as Taylor Swift, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. All of the greats all breathe the same air and have the exact amount of hours throughout the day to do what they want. Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, we all got 24 hours. Now, I really want you to sit back on a piece of paper and write down like receipts. I want you to, because time is money, right? So we're going to treat that time like receipts. I want you to start documenting what you're doing every hour out your day. For the next 2 weeks, I want you, this is your lesson. Now we're about to get into homework. I need you to start documenting what you do with your time for 2 weeks. This hour I did this. 8 hours I slept, 1 hour I played the game, 1 hour I spent cooking, 2 hours I spent with the kids, 1 hour I spent with business, and so forth. And I want you to do that for the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And once we start to get that down pack and we get our receipts, well, now we can see, now we got data, and now we can figure out where we're lacking and where we're doing great. Because you're not a complete failure. You're not a failure at all. You're exactly where you are because you deserve to be there. See, you won't receive what you do not believe you can receive. The only way for you to receive what you want to is if you believe it. And once you believe it, that's when you have it. Once you have it, you deserve it at that point. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Like I said, we don't say I'm body, I'm arm, I'm mind, I'm leg, I'm name. It's my body, my leg, my name, my arm, my mind. There's 3 things in life. You're a spiritual being, you have intellect, and you're in physical bodies. Most people are just reacting to life and not living. That's very important because that's why the spiritual fitness side of this is key. Spiritual fitness. Spiritual fitness is just as important as financial fitness. Like I said, you don't have to do them in order, but you need to have them in order. Now, you are an intellectual being. Intellectual being. What does that mean? That means that you are the highest form of creation that Yah has ever made. You are the highest form of creation that the beginning and end, the Alpha and Omega, has ever created. How can I prove that? Well, you see, animals live off instinct. Instinct is perfection. And when we see a bird fly in the sky, we don't think twice about it. But when we see a disoriented human, not saying they're discombobulated, but we are the most disoriented living creatures on this planet. That's why every time you see a human, you stare at them and you want to see who it is. The actions they're doing. What are they talking about? You are an intellectual being. You have conscious thought. You have conscious thought. You have a conscious mind and a subjective conscious. The subjective conscious mind has no choice but to accept whatever you feed it through your conscious mind. Now, what does that mean? That means that, for example, if you're following things on Facebook, right? And you have a choice, which is reason. You can reason with whatever you believe to choose in. Now, if you're scrolling through Facebook and you see a meme or a video that someone has created, keep in mind how advanced technology is and video editing is nowadays. You have a reason. You have a choice to accept or reject that information. Now, if you choose to reject that information, no matter what you do, that information gets transliterated and translated to your subjective mind, which is the emotional mind, and it expresses itself through the body, which is your mouth. And you can say, I don't believe that happened. And you're going to get emotionally involved in that. And once you get emotionally involved in that, you don't believe that happened, then you're in good hands. But most of the time, 95% of population let the physical realm, what they see, taste, hear, and smell, dictate. They accept that information, get emotionally involved in it, and express it through the instrument, the body. You may see something on Facebook or whatever platform that makes you angry, laugh, or sad. Now, once you choose to accept that information and get emotionally involved in it, then you're in very deep trouble. That's why you gotta be careful playing with these platforms. That's why it's very important for you to understand who you are. That's the basics. We're literally talking about who you are. That's why it is very important for you to understand who you are and how you work. Guys, this is what I specialize in. Okay? So now, you are the highest form of creation made. Scientists has once said that if we can utilize the hydrogen electric atoms in your body, that you can supply a highly industrialized country for nearly a week. Scientists has recently found, not recently, it's always been around, that if we can utilize the hydrogen electric atoms in your body, that they can be used to supply a highly industrialized country for nearly a week. That means there's factories on every single block, and all you need is one human being to supply it. And you can do it from Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday. You are the highest form of creation made. You are Yah's highest form of creation, okay? You have over 11 kilowatts of power per pound flowing through your body. Proof. Put your finger in the socket. Zip, you get a shock. You have literal electricity flowing through your body. It is very important for you to understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You see, the physical part of you is the lowest part of you. It all starts up here first. Now, when it comes to spirit, it comes to imagination. Now, you can create your own economy. You might have been born in a project like Project Pat, but just like him, you can get out of it too. And it all starts with up here. Every single one of your favorite rappers explain how they got out of this, how they changed their present results. It all starts with imagination. Now, if we break that down, that's image, nation. Image, nation. You can change your nation that you're in with self-image. Okay? If you lack imagination and you don't respect the fact that you are a very intellectual being and you're the highest form of creation man has ever saw, then your present results are always going to stay the same. Okay? I need you to focus more on what's going on up here instead of what's going on down here. The more you focus on what's up here and not what's going on around this thing right here, I promise you, your income will increase by 10 times. And your income does not just have to be financial. It can be love. It can be a lot of things. Okay? Change the way you look at things. What you look at changes. That leads us right into physical fitness. Understand that physical fitness is just as important as financial and spiritual fitness. And I don't mean the physical realm, but I mean you have to have complete control of your mind, body, thought, and soul. What do I mean by that? I am so happy and grateful now that I have complete control over my mind, my body, my thought, and my soul. Because once you start to change the mental process, your physical body starts to change. You see, now you got depression, right? A lot of people be like, I'm depressed. That's why I'm out of shape. No, you're out of shape. That's why you're depressed. I have a fear. That's what causes anxiety. Well, conquer the fear and anxiety goes away. You're literally using the same words in the same sentence. You know what I'm saying? Fear doesn't exist. Anxiety doesn't exist. It's all just a false manifestation of what goes on in the physical realm that you live in. So it's very important for you to have a complete understanding of the physical. Once you have a complete understanding of the physical, then you're going to understand challenge. And once you start to understand challenge and respect what it actually means in life, then comes growth and development. And what growth and development transitions into is strength. Strength is endurance, which is mental durability. This is all just from respecting the fact that physical comes with challenge. Mental durability is what's going to give you that consistent mindset of understanding that life is supposed to hurt because that's what we all ask for. You see, now energy is, Yah is. There is no more amount of energy or less amount of energy from the beginning of time than there will be at the end of time. I know people who's 85 years old who moves like they're 20. I know people who's 20 who act like an 85-year-old man who's just completely out of whack. Once you start to conquer the physical, the 5 basic faculties that you have, that energy has no choice but to go through the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and express it through the physical form. Once you start to respect challenge, it all starts with thought first. I know we're saying physical, but if you listen, every single physical thing that I'm touching right now or came from kind of with a thought first. Okay? Bear with me. Really lock into what I'm about to tell you. If you start to understand that the physical is just a manifestation of what goes on in the conscious mind, emotionally involved with the subjective mind, it expresses itself through the instrument, which is the physical. If you start to respect the challenge of the physical realm and understand what it's put there for, you're going to change your perspective on that, which then you're going to send signals to your emotional mind, and you're going to embrace that because you know the long-term benefits of it. You're going to know the long-term benefits of it. Your physical will start to change. And don't just think of the body, but the environment. I know this guy, right? He's in jail. He's walking around, he has a smile on his face, serving a lot of time. He's serving a lot of time. So he's like, one of the CEOs is like, hey man, why are you always smiling? He said, well, because I'm learning and I'm growing. This place will not dictate how I feel. What's going on around me does not dictate what's going on inside me. You cannot let your present results or your physical results dictate your future. You have to image your nation and hold on to it and utilize what's going on up there and use that as your tool to change what's going on out here. Now, maybe this is going over your head a little bit. I don't care if you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a rapper, or astronaut, a mechanic, a public speaker, a race car driver, or anything, whatever you want to do. You have to get you have to get into alignment with those activities. If you want to be a lawyer, shouldn't you do what lawyers do, which is 80% study law? If you want to be a rapper, the greatest rapper alive, then shouldn't you have mentors around you that has the same or has already achieved those goals? Shouldn't you be doing what the greatest of all time do, which is 80% of what they love to do, what they fell in love with doing? If you want to be the greatest rapper alive, then it's common sense that you should be doing what the greatest rapper of all time will be doing, which is working. How do I know that working is going to get you where you want to be? It's literally in the book of Genesis. It's the first thing that the Creator did. It was the first blessing that we received. He created the light, he created the stars, he created the earth. He sat back and he's seen that the work is good. Work. Now you have a choice and you have decision. You can choose to go left or go right. You can go the wrong way or you can go the right way. And if you choose to go the wrong way, well, then you made a decision to sit in your present results. If you choose to go the right way, then you have made a decision. You have got emotionally involved in becoming in alignment to what you want to be. The greatest rapper, the lawyer. It don't matter if you got the degree or not. Because you can literally start right now and get it into alignment with that degree. You have just now made a choice. Once you make the choice, you have made a legit decision to change your present results. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you make the decision to do it. Now, it's very important to understand this. That's why I asked you, are you really who you pretend to be? Are you doing what you really want? What do you really want to do? What do you really want to do? Because, let me show you some more. People set goals, right? You set goals. This is where you want to be. This is where you are. You're here. This is the goal. Well, first things first, I'm going to tell you is that once you get here, you're going to realize, wow, I could have gone here. And that's going to be the part that hurts. Now, let's call these frequencies, right? The reason why we're going to use it is because your cell phone has a frequency. And there's a bunch of different frequencies. That's what we recently just found out or just become aware of. What that means is that in order you to get to where you want to be, you have to get in alignment with it physically. You're here. You want to be there. Once you get there, you're going to realize that you could have gone there. The problem is that you're here. Remember, we just said that. Your present results are the problem why you're afraid to reach these goals. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem where you are, mindset-wise. Because once you get this goal, say we bring one down. Once you get this goal, you're going to want to get that goal and get that goal. It's not the goals that we're reaching for. It's the person who takes initiative to reach those goals. That's who we fall in love with. It's the overcomer. The goals don't matter. You're going to reach the goals. You already got goals that you've already reached here. And you still earn for more. You earn for the challenge. Do you understand in the slightest bit? Once you become in alignment with what you're doing, the goals don't matter because you are who you are. You are who you were designed to be. That's why it's very important to ask the question, who am I? And then we're going to reverse it. I am who I was designed to be. That's why it's so important to sit back and think, what do I want to do? It all boils down to character. That's why money is so talked about because whoever has the most money is the most disciplined. But that's not true, what we recently just found out. MC Hammer wasn't the most disciplined. He had a lot of money though. Mindset is everything, guys. That's why mental fitness is everything. Mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness, spiritual fitness, and financial fitness. It's literally the 4 keys in life. Now, you don't have to do them in order, but you need to have them in order. Mental fitness. Mental fitness. You see now, you have 5 basic faculties. What you see, hear, taste, touch, smell. 5 basic faculties that you've been living with. A good word for all of these is physical world. Now, in the good book, it tells you you are in the world, but you are not of this world. Which means you cannot let what goes on outside dictate what's going on inside. You cannot let everything you see determine your everyday activity. Same thing goes for hear, same thing goes for touch, same thing goes for taste, same thing goes for smell. You smell a lot of bullshit, but that don't mean it's bullshit in the air. Your senses are being toyed with. They're really like antennas. They are the lowest form of you ever. Now you also have 5 mental faculties. You got imagination. You have reason. You have intuition. You have will. You have memory. These are the 5 mental faculties that you have. A good word for this is what goes on the spirit world. This is the spirit world. Now, intuition. Let's speak about that. Have you ever had a scenario where you were thinking of someone and they just all of a sudden call your phone and you say, man, I was just thinking about you. Or they don't even call you. You're out in public. They're thinking about somebody probably for a few seconds, past few months. And you see him in person and you're like, man, I've been thinking about this dude, this woman. Of course you've had that experience before. Okay, I'll take you one better. Deja vu. Every single one of you have had deja vu before. Like, I know I've been here before. That's intuition. For my example, I have a mentor. He said, Kyrie, you're going to be a millionaire. Now, I didn't really believe him, but I believe that he believed it. That's the intuition. I'm standing here with me and my sister, and instantly she has a mood change and I feel it. And I'm like, what's wrong? That's intuition. Now, reason. You cannot reason with intuition because it's a literal fact it's a literal fact. Every single thing that you see in front of you right now came with imagination. Okay? Somebody had to image these thoughts before it came into the physical realm. Technology is not advancing, spirits are. Okay? Somebody had to imagine the Tesla before the Tesla even came into an existence. The halo lamp I'm using, the cell phone I'm using, literally all came from a thought first, man. You literally had to think of all of the things that you have now. You didn't get your first car until you thought about getting your first car first. You didn't fail that test until you thought you can fail that test. Will. Once you imagine that you can get that car or pass that test, you got emotionally involved and you made a decision and you made it a will to achieve those results. Now, are you saying that, okay, well, if I think about getting sick, am I going to get sick? No, I believe that you put yourself in a very mysterious vibration and maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the line, you're going to start to sneeze. I think a lot of people thought they had COVID and a lot of people were being false diagnosed. I know that for a fact. Memory. You got wealthy parents and their kids end up wealthy as well. Why? It's not the work that keeps them wealthy. It's the experiences that they have when wealthy. Now, for example, before quarantine and before we were getting the government checks, people were used to living in poverty and not being as financially stable. But once you started getting PPE money and once you started getting all these loans from the government, you had an experience of doing what you wanted to do without having to go bust your ass at some factory. Now, did you know that there are more small businesses, big businesses, small corporations, and corporations in these later years than previous years? Because the majority of people experienced a life that they could live without having to work a factory job for it. They had the memory, which you will never lose. You have a perfect memory. Just because you forgot something don't mean you forgot something. It'll come back to you. You know that, right? You have a memory and experience of being financially free. And you will never forget that. And I can prove that because now everybody is hiring. 90% of people aren't trying to go back to working that factory job because they know for a fact that it's something out there that can get them back to the experiences that they fell in love with. And most people caught on quick and got emotionally involved with staying and that type of on that frequency and found a way to push through it. Some people just don't make it, but that's balance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you why you weren't able to keep that. Mental fitness is very important, guys. I can't exaggerate it enough, okay? So now, we are about to see how we can improve who we are. Now, we're about to draw 3 of you. Boom, somebody. Boom, somebody. Boom, that's a body. You have 2 minds. You got good habits. You got bad habits. And you got the new you. Now, remember, we pray for challenge. You pray for strength, you get blessed with challenges. Point blank, period. You have a paradigm, right? You have been programmed to think a certain way and act a certain way. You didn't let social media or whatever it is fill so much junk in your head to the point where now you live off of it. Okay? But you also have good habits, like speaking a language, staying consistent at a job, surviving. You know, you're not dead yet, so you got good habits. Something's working. You might have a lot of bad habits. You might have more bad habits than good habits. This is where we have to really intensify activity. What I'm going to need you to do is throughout time is start to feed good habits into the new you. And once you start to feed good habits into the new you, the bad habits are going to run out of room. And once you create the new model, the existing model, which is these two, becomes obsolete. You know what I'm saying? See, you're never going to be able to change your present results residing in this person right here. No, you will never be able to create a new model while relying on the existing model. That literally doesn't make sense. I've never seen somebody go to the gym and get out of shape. I've never seen somebody save money and not have money. You will never change with the current everyday activity that you have now. We're going to become the new you by throughout time holding on to these good habits and creating more good habits, so that way the bad habits have no more room to grow. We have to create a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I promise you, in 5 years or less, you're going to be able to, I promise you, nothing's going to stop you. You're going to be looking for bad habits to overcome, so that way you can just continue to fall in love with the person who overcomes. You understand what I'm saying? Good. Now, once again, I want you guys to comment challenges that you are so happy that you've been blessed with, whether it's losing parents, children, family members, jobs, whatever it is. Whatever challenge you have been blessed with this week, this year, this month, I need you to express it. Okay? This is very serious business here. Remember, Yah is. You already been blessed with unlimited amounts of energy, okay? You're a spiritual being. You are in all places at the same time, okay? How do I know that? Because your friend can be in Japan and we can be in America, and I can have that thought and he can come here. We can connect with each other as long as we get on the same frequency with each other, okay? He'll call me and I'll be thinking like, oh, smokes, I was just thinking about you. Now we're on the same frequency. It's called telepathic communication. Even if he don't call, we can still have some thoughts with each other. Okay? Now that's a little intense, but I need you to understand. Yah is, energy is. You have a conscious mind. You have reason. You have a subjective mind. It has no ability to accept or reject any information that you give it. All it has to do is accept it, whether it's physical or imaginable. We're going to transfer that motion, that energy, into our subjective mind. Once we start to transfer that energy to our subjective mind, it has no choice but to accept it, and it has to release it through the instrument. That's how this works. Now, if you have questions, I need you guys to comment, contact me, and let me know what you're not understanding, so that way we can break it down. I want to thank you guys so much for joining in on this meeting, and remember to contact or to stay consistent with this stuff, okay? Because it's very powerful, and it's something that you need. You need this more than you need food and water, I promise. So the thing is that you will never create a new model while living in the existing model, okay? We need to create a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. It's 6IC Fspm Fitness. My name is Kyrie Hinton, and I'm going to see you guys next week, okay? It's an honor to speak to you guys, man. It really makes me happy, and I really just jump for joy, man. I love you guys. See ya.